Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's surreal journey. She took the chain, walked to the piano room, but found it empty. Was it her illusion? She quickly locked the piano. Now she confidently walked out of the door with a sense of relief, only to discover that the door wouldn't close at all. Suddenly, everything turned incredibly bizarre. This is too weird. Someone's pranking in the piano room. Grace shouted, "Master, come get the keys." But when they entered, the piano that she just locked was inexplicably open. Grace was sure she had locked it, but the master just told her to take some headache medicine first. It seemed she had known the secrets of the villa all along. Grace insisted there were ghosts in the room. Whether the master believed her or not, she was certain there were ghosts lurking about. Surprisingly, he didn't dispute her, but agreed. He said the spiritual and living worlds are one, implying they coexist with ghosts. But Grace clearly could not accept this. She figured her God wouldn't allow such nonsense. So as soon as dawn broke, she set off to find a priest in town. As she exited the villa, the couple said something absurd. Of course, a dog. Should we take all this back? These have all been wonderful times, old man. Speaking of the devil, the old man covered his own tombstone with leaves, fearing that Grace might turn back and see it. At that moment, Grace had just stepped outside and suddenly got lost in an unexpected fog. She couldn't even tell where she was. Just then, a man in military uniform suddenly emerged from the fog, leaving Grace utterly speechless. Subtitles. It was indeed her husband who had been missing for more than a year. She just couldn't believe her eyes. Everybody said you died on the battlefield, but I always knew you'd return to me and the kids. However, her husband said something utterly baffling and looked a bit thinner too. Though Grace felt it quite odd, as the fog gradually cleared away, they swiftly returned to the villa. Little did the aunt anticipate the man's arrival. It was clearly not in her plans, hence she couldn't hide her astonishment. Ever since the master returned, he only peeked into the kids' rooms and then spent days in bed. He wouldn't even come down for meals, leaving the daughters very upset to did not love them at all. That night, the aunt's family whispered amongst themselves, saying Grace was acting as if nothing happened, which was quite concerning. "I don't think he knows where he is," said the aunt. The next day, Grace went to her daughter's room and found her sitting on the floor in a dress. Worried her daughter would catch a chill, Grace hurried to pull her up, only to get freaked out when she realized her daughter's arms had aged dramatically. She slowly approached, thinking, "What happened? Where has my daughter gone? What have you done? Are you crazy? I'm your daughter." Grace angrily grabbed Anna. Subtitles. She anxiously started to shake her, insisting that Anna hand over her own daughter, and subsequently pushed the daughter to the ground. "Mom, I'm hurt. She's trying to kill me. She won't stop until she kills us." You're crazy. You're crazy." The aunt then burst back into the house, interrogating Grace about her treatment to Vanna. But clearly, Grace was at a loss for words, completely bewildered. She only asked the aunt not to question her as the master would, beginning to suspect the medicine the aunt gave her. So she took advantage of the aunt's departure to flush the pills down the drain, then returned to her bedroom, only to find her husband reproaching her. "You shouldn't treat the kids that way," he said, preparing to rush back to the battlefield, hoping the children would forgive her, which left Grace even more confused. "You just came back. Why are you leaving again? What on earth is so appealing about the battlefield?" She fell onto the bed in tears. Meanwhile, the man was teary-eyed, as if holding untold secrets. He quietly leaned behind Grace to comfort her. But when Grace opened her eyes again, she found her husband had vanished. No time for sorrow, as her daughter's scream suddenly pierced the air. She hurried to the children, only to notice that the villa's curtains had mysteriously vanished overnight. She quickly took off her clothing to cover the children, searching for a room with curtains, but to no avail, as if someone had purposely taken them away. Thus, she had no choice but to call the aunt's family over to inquire who exactly wanted to do such a thing. But the aunt remained quite calm, stating that they also didn't know who had removed the curtains. Maybe someone thinks the kids need some sun. This startled Grace. Do you realize this could kill my children? The aunt still looked unconcerned, calmly stating, how would you know if they are better if you don't let them see the sun? Seeing the aunt's family fearlessly handle hot water, Grace finally sensed something was amiss. She promptly drew her shotgun, demanded the room keys, and ordered them out of her house. But just as they stepped out, the aunt suddenly snapped and expressed a desire to dig up graves. Clearly, these three were hiding secrets from Grace's family. That night, the sister suddenly told her brother she wanted to go outside the villa to stretch her legs. She was tired of being cooped up inside. She turned and climbed down the drain pipe, and her brother had no choice but to follow her. However, they hadn't gone far before they were horrified to discover 3 graves had appeared at the corner of the yard. The sister curiously ran up, only to see a horrifying sight on the headstones with the names of the aunt. Meanwhile, while cleaning in the attic, Grace found a decades-old photograph underneath the bed. The 3 people in the picture were indeed the aunt's family. Realizing something bad was afoot, Grace immediately rushed out with her shotgun, just in time to encounter the returning siblings. She ordered the kids to get back inside. She attempted to use the shotgun to keep the 3 from approaching, but frightened, Grace dropped the gun and raced back inside. Don't forget to subscribe.